All right, good to be back with everybody. Missed you all last week. Good break for everyone. Our guys came back really, just had a little spring in their step last night, so excited to get back going. These first 8 weeks or so of the season have flown by, so I know these next 5 will be the same, and looking forward to each and every one of them. This is a great group of young men that we get to be with every day, and I was just telling our coaches yesterday, man, it just, you only get so much time with these guys, and, appreciate the opportunity that we have and how they've competed all year, this senior group, just a lot of fun to be with each and every day, and, looking forward to a strong finish. That's what we're focused on, and starting with a huge challenge this week. In Tallahassee. This is a good football team. Obviously, Florida State's Florida State. They're as talented as anybody in the country. They're a top 15 team, and obviously playing at home, and a place that we have not won in a long time. So it's a good challenge for us, and we're going to have to play well to have a chance to win down there. That's for sure. But they're just Florida State. I mean, it really never changes when you watch the tape on these guys. Incredibly athletic, speed all over the field, playmakers everywhere. Offensively, they've got a young quarterback that's getting better every single rep. And the one thing I'll say about them offensively is they've stayed patient all year, even when they've gotten down. They've not panicked. They've stayed within their plan, and they've always come back. The Louisville game was that thing kind of got away early, and it was over. But whether it was Ole Miss or North Carolina or whoever, they've just continued to play, and they're a run the ball first type of a team. Create a lot of challenges with their play action game. They're a great screen team. A lot of boots. A lot of bunch sets, a lot of things that create some issues for you from a leverage standpoint, and being able to match up with their receivers, and with all the crossers and heavy play action, so max protection, cross country type of routes. They do a great job, schematically. Really do a good job, and the quarterback, like I said, has gotten more and more comfortable as the season has gone on. Very good player, big arm, can make all the throws. He's also dangerous with his legs. Does a great job scrambling for him. They will run him with some design quarterback run stuff. So, a young player that's just, blossoming and going to continue to get better. They got 4 out of their 5 starters back in the offensive line that we played against last year. So, know all about them. Their receivers are, it doesn't matter what year it is. They always have great skill, always have great receivers. 15, 3, and 8 they're just the 3 next guys. I mean, they just are really good players, played against us last year. And, 8 can absolutely fly. He's a weapon in the return game as well for them. Same thing with 3. So just a really good all-around team. But, number 4 is special. I mean, he is just one of those guys. As I said last year, he just – sometimes you play teams and there's a guy that you hold your breath when he touches it, and that's kind of how he is. I mean, and they do a great job. They use him a lot like we used to use Spiller. I mean, they're not going to come out of the ball game without number 4 touching it a bunch. They're going to hand it to him. They're going to screen it to him. They're going to flare it to him. They're going to angle it to him. They're going to play action it to him. They're going to do a lot of different things to get him the football. They'll throw it back to him. So he is a guy that when he touches it, he can make a big play at any time. And then he breaks a lot of tackles. He's obviously a fast, dynamic player and does a great job in the passing game, but he's a strong runner. And, to me, one of his greatest strengths is his ability to not only break tackles, but his vision. He finds it. He can smell it. They run those stretches and those tosses, and he gets everybody running, and then he'll stick a foot in the ground, and he's out the back door. So your cut back, discipline, in playing those guys on the backside, doing their job and not overrunning things is critical when you play these guys. But just a really good, talented group offensively, And again, I think 4 is as good a player as there is in the country, without a doubt. And then defensively, I think starts with their D-line. They're as good as we've played up front. Their 2 D tackles are special. Really, really great football players inside. Very difficult to move, run the football against them. 44 is he's kind of their Ben Boulware, if you will. I mean, he is the heart of their defense. Tremendous football player, guy we recruited, great energy, and a very dynamic guy. Does a great job. And in third downs, they'll move him inside, and he is a matchup problem inside with his quickness and his ability to play with great strength. So second level backers, are all 235. They can all run. Just all 4 and 5 star guys. They're talented. Number 4, McFadden, leads the nation in interceptions. I know they've had a couple of safeties that had been hurt for them, but the last couple of weeks they've been playing some other guys and getting those guys settled in. So, again, talented football team, good kicker, good punter, good returners, and just typical Florida State. So a lot of respect for them. Look forward to going down there and competing against one of the best teams in the country. And and with that, I'm going to take questions. One thing I would say, that I just want to congratulate our women's soccer team. Coach Eddie got the girls playing great. I think they're undefeated at home, and they play Duke Thursday. And I think that's for the ACC regular season championship. So really proud of our women's soccer team, proud of what our men's team's doing. I think they're top 10 as well. It's really a great time of year, to be honest with you. We got a lot going on. We got basketball starting up. I think Coach Brad last week had a chance to some of you guys go out there and play some bad golf, I'm sure. But got basketball season coming on board. Excited about the new Coliseum, and it's just a great time of year with football going on. Pro football's in full speed. We got the Cubs tonight. It doesn't get any better than that. Go Cubbies. John Lester on the mound. His wife is a Clemson grad, just so you know. And so looking forward to all that's coming our way starting this week and the rest of the year. Lot of fun.
Dabo, Dave Doran on his TV show seemed to indicate that knocking Gallman out was among their list of accomplishments. What have you seen that, and what are your?
No, I don't spend a lot of time watching coaches' shows. I have not seen it, heard about it. I actually talked to Dave. He actually called me yesterday. We had a good talk about that, and we move on. We're getting ready for Florida State.
Coach, your last trip to Tallahassee kind of felt like that NC State game. A lot of mistakes and turnovers. Felt like you should have won easily. Do you revisit that at all with the team the last trip down there?
Not really. I mean, they know. I mean, they know that you talk about. Whenever you've played an opponent, you'll kind of revisit some of the things that you did good, things that you did bad. But these guys, I mean, our juniors and seniors have only been there one time, and that was that game. And so we don't have many guys that played in that game. We have very few guys on this team that played in that game. We only got 22 total seniors and juniors as it is. So some of those freshmen probably didn't even play in 2014, but. They know that we certainly had we had plenty of opportunities to win the game. I think we had 500 and something yards of offense, but we turned it over. We had bad snaps. I remember we had a 2nd and 24, and McKenzie's up there playing like it's 3rd and 1, and trips, and they throw about a 76-yard touchdown on us. I mean, with about 6 minutes to play to tie it up. They were just, but give them credit. They made the plays in the critical situations, and we didn't. We had chances to win it and didn't do it. You got to win the game, I mean, you got to win it, and we didn't do it when we had those opportunities. But our freshmen and sophomores, which is what most of our team, it's a very young football team. A lot of people don't think that because we got some really good, savvy leaders and experienced guys. But there's very few of those guys. I mean, the majority of our team are freshmen and sophomores. That sophomore class is huge, and none of those guys have played there. So it's a new experience for all them guys. They don't know. All they know is what it takes to win, and that's what we focus on, regardless of where we play, whether we're playing at home, whether we're playing on the road. Our guys know what it takes to win, and that doesn't change from week to week.
I guess I guess Hunter was getting a CAT scan on his wrist. Is he going to have to wear a brace? Or a cast?
I don't think so. I think he's going to be all right. But I think they were doing that yesterday or this morning, and but I have not heard back from Danny on that. But I think he's good. He was fine last week too, or 2 weeks ago.
Dabo, when was the last time Deshaun Watson did something in a game or in practice that surprised you, that made you say, wow, I didn't think he could do that?
That surprised me. I don't know. Nothing really. I mean, he's just nothing really. He does surprises me. He just makes me proud. Just like the pick six that he had. That's his first pick six ever, by the way. Not just at Clemson, high school, middle school. Because I was just messing with him. I said, "Man, it's your first pick six, isn't it?" He goes, "Yeah, ever." And he goes, like ever in his whole life. And he wasn't real happy about that. But what did he do? He comes back and he sets a career record. He had 14 straight completions after that pick six. And that's pretty impressive. But that doesn't surprise me. It's just another one of those things that just kind of, but the play of the year to me for Deshaun Watson, if I'm a scout and I'm watching Deshaun Watson, first of all, he's playing. Our offense is better than we were last year, despite what y'all write. Last year y'all telling us how great we were, and this year we're averaging more yards. We got same amount of touchdowns now. I think we're one less touchdown, but more touchdown passes, less interceptions. We're averaging more yards per play, better on third down. We're doing a lot of good things offensively. We just, first couple games had a bunch of drops, and then we missed on some touchdown catches as well. But the one play that I would say about Deshaun Watson, all right, if you go back and when Mike Williams fumbled the ball, he fumbled the ball on the 4-yard line or whatever, first of all, not just Deshaun, but our entire offense. If you want to know what this team's made of, you want to know what this team's all about, just watch that play. Just watch that play. Watch Jordan Leggett come from backside. It's just he can't run any faster. Watch Ray. Watch our Travion. But watch Deshaun Watson. Watch Deshaun Watson. You want to know you don't want to know why we win? You want to know why we're successful? Just watch that play. Mitch Hyatt got hit in the back, by the way, on that play. That's another subject. But watch Deshaun Watson. Watch this kid, and watch him go and just create a dog pile. Just throw his body right into two guys and take them out and create a dog pile so Leggett could make that tackle. That's why we win. That's why we win. Because we have a group of guys that are completely sold out. We're not perfect. They're not robots. They're not human. They're not, androids or some kind of thing that you program. They're just humans. They're just people. And sometimes make mistakes, things like that, but it's all about how you respond to those things. Like I said, he throws a pick six, comes back 14 straight completions. The fumble, but watch that play. If I'm picking, that's the play. That's the play because Deshaun's got all that other stuff. He's got all that stuff. But that right there, you can't coach that. That comes from inside, and it's pretty special, to be a part of it and watch these guys and the effort. Watch them offensive linemen that have zero chance to catch that guy, and watch them run. Watch them. It's just awesome. To me, that's one of the best plays we've had all year. And it was a negative play, but one of the best plays we've had all year. Because, again, that's the epitome of what our team's all about, and that's what Deshaun's about. So, long way to answer your question. Really hadn't really done anything to surprise me. Just makes me proud. His leadership is incredible. This is the best he's ever been from a leadership standpoint. Obviously, his football IQ is at an all-time high since he's been here as well.
How much practice did Wayne Gallman get yesterday, and what do you think his chances are of playing Saturday?
He's going to play great. He practiced the whole practice. Didn't miss a rep.
Dabo, what are your fondest memories off the field and on the field with Christian Wilkins?
Christian Wilkins. Well, I'd have to rank that fake punt in the Orange Bowl. That'd be up there high. You know, the look in his face when we called it. He gave me that look. I said, "That's right. Let's go, big boy. It's that time." And oh man, and probably when he committed to Clemson, because you get to know these guys, but you don't really, you know them better once they get here, and you're really around them every day. And he's got a big sense of humor. He's a practical jokester, he just, because he called me to tell me that he was going to make his decision. I think it was December, and he had let his 3 schools know that he was going to be making his decision, and we didn't know. I didn't know. Nobody knew. And usually, usually. Very few times that I didn't know, but I didn't know. So I didn't really have a good feeling, even though he had just been great in the whole recruiting process. And he calls me up at the house, and he starts giving me the I love you, but speech. It's like, like you breaking up with your girlfriend, or the girlfriend's breaking up with you, and it's like, you're just great, but the but's coming. And he gave me this long talk about, just wanted to thank me for recruiting him, and guy, he just loved Clemson, and every time he came to Clemson, he just loved it, and he just appreciated how we treated him and his family, and he just went on and on and on about all this great stuff about Clemson. And then here comes the but, and the whole time I'm sitting there, I'm going, such a classy kid, and I'm just, I'm ready, I'm prepared to say, well, listen, I enjoyed recruiting you, and man, you're just a class act, and I wish you nothing but the best. That's kind of what I already got in my mind, because of where he's going in this thing, and I'm sitting there listening to him, waiting for the but, and then finally here comes the but, but that's why I'm committing to Clemson, and I went, what? It just completely caught me off guard. And but that's just typical Christian. Like he called me Friday because he was flying out to see his girlfriend out in Colorado, and he calls me he was letting me know his flight plans, and he just said, Coach, I've made a decision that I think Livy and I are going to elope, and I'm going to step away from football for a while. We're going on a mission trip somewhere to whatever, and wish you he's so goofy like that. He's just always, doing stuff like that. So I got a lot of great memories. He's fun at practice every day, brings a great energy, and, he really thinks he can do anything. He really does. And heck, I'm not sure that he can't.
So Wayne has passed concussion protocol, and he'll practice in pads and everything.
Yeah, he practiced yesterday. He'll be in pads today.
Coach, with all the losses.
Big news. Wayne Gallman's going to play Saturday at 8:22 p.m.
He was a bit ambiguous about whether he had a concussion. Has there been any sort of disconnect about what he told the trainers? Or?
No. There was no disconnect at all. He just, like I said, he really responded well. They have a protocol that you go through, and he's going to practice in pads today. He's going to do all the team stuff. We're not going to put him in inside drill today. We'll put him back in inside drill tomorrow, but he'll do everything else, and he's ready to go.
Has the protocol changed in the last couple of years?
No, I mean it's changed in that it's to the nth degree. As far as the side of caution, it's all changed in all levels of football, which is a good thing.
Both Wayne and Hunter in the last couple of weeks, they mentioned how, Hunter said, I felt a little numb, shouldn't have told the trainers that, and Wayne talking yesterday.
That's not good. I think you should always communicate that. I think Hunter was just, he was just, he was fine. He felt like he could have come back and played that game. He practiced all last week. He didn't miss any practice last week. But they have a protocol, and they do a great job with all that stuff. I just always sit around and say, tell me who can play. I don't get involved in any of that. But Wayne was really great and responsive the next day, that afternoon, the next day, and all last week. But he's gone through the whole protocol, and he's ready to go.
Do you find the players players are more hesitant to report any kind of injuries,
I
concussions or
don't.
otherwise?
No, I think it's just the opposite. I think the trainers and the doctors and the coaches, are more cautious now. The game's safer than it's ever been. It's never been safer. And, because people are you're more aware of things, you have more knowledge about stuff, and you know the signs to look for. And if there's any question at all, you're out. I mean, it's just the way it is. But I have not noticed that. I think the players have a much better understanding, and it's not seen like back when I was playing. I mean, if you complained about something, you were perceived as soft or not tough or whatever, and that culture has changed drastically, without a doubt.
Did you think that was targeting on Gall?
I thought it was a pretty vicious hit, but we sent it in, and they said it wasn't targeting, so I guess it wasn't.
Coach, despite losing 3 underclassmen starters in the secondary, you're currently ranked number 7 in passing defense, allowing 166 yards a game. What can you say about the job that Coach Reed and Coach Venables have done there?
Tremendous job. I think the guys have really bought in to the disciplines of the defense and taken a lot of ownership in their preparation, their attention to details, studying the opponents each and every week. Jadar has been, to me, the player of the year. He's that guy this year that has just taken us to another level. I mean, I can't stress that enough. I'm really proud of Jadar. He has been as consistent a player as we've had on our football team. And we were very hopeful that he would take that next step, and boy, has he. He starts on special teams. I mean, he's become a great leader, and we needed that on that back end. He's a vocal guy, and he really wasn't much that early on in his career, but he's become a take charge kind of a guy on the back end. He and Van have a great chemistry. Obviously, Cordray has. It's interesting. Last year, Cordray had a bunch of interceptions. This year, he hadn't had as many, but hadn't had as many opportunities. And then I think that just the confidence that we have gotten in those other players, the Marcus Edmond, Ryan Carter, Mark Fields, those guys, we've combined to really have a very productive group on the back end. It's a lot of competition back there. And really proud of them. They've done a great job. The biggest thing we talked about coming into the season was the big plays. As I said, we were dysfunctional last year. Dysfunctionally good. I mean, we were really good. You're top 10 defense, but we kept giving up a lot of big plays. And when you get big leads on people, next thing you know, you're kicking an onside kick. Because we were giving up these chunks. And we have really, through 7 games, we've done a great job. And 7 games don't make a season. We got a long way to go. But I love what they've done to this point. Very consistent.
With the huge game-saving plays at the end there that Marcus Edmond made, have you noticed the last few weeks that maybe he's had an extra pep in his step and maybe kind of elevated his play?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, success breeds confidence, and he's just he definitely has a different swagger to him. There's no doubt about it. He put the work in, first of all. He worked his tail off this spring, the off season, the spring, the summer. I mean, really grinded, and then he got hurt, and so I think he just had a lot of fuel to come back. But it's one thing to do that. It's another thing to go and have some success, and that's oftentimes all a player needs is just a little bit of success, and then all of a sudden that confidence emerges and the game slows down. You play a little faster, and that's been the case for Marcus. I mean, He has been a big time guy for us. Come through for us in a big way this year.
Speaking of guys stepping up, are there any backups or bench players stuff that are performing really well, taking their game to another level that we need to know about that we may not know about as the media?
I mean, I think there's a bunch of those guys. I mean, shoot, you look at our offensive line. We've played a lot of guys in that offensive line through 7 games. You got a young guy like Tremaine Ankrum. I mean, he is, and Pollard. They've gotten some good experience this year as true freshmen. Last year, that was a huge story for us. But we got Mitch Hyatt. I thought Frew Morgan came back and played his best game last week. Did a great job for us. But Hearn, is a young sophomore player. You know, he's had a really solid year for us too. But you know, it's a guy like Tremaine Ankrum and Pollard. I think two guys like that. Falcinelli has had to play some center. He's played some guard. He's a sophomore player for us that people don't really talk about, but he's a really good football player. You know, I think Mylan Richard, even though he hasn't had a lot of touches, I think he has really come on and a guy that shows a lot of promise for us moving forward. You know, Leggett's kind of been the featured guy at that position, but I think that we've got a good future there at tight end. I really do with the guys that we have in that sophomore group. There's certain things that I see that a lot of people don't see. And then I think the development of our quarterbacks. Again, I think even though Kelly hasn't had a lot of opportunity, I think he's continued to improve. And it's a good situation. And the same thing on the defensive side. You know, a guy like Trey Lamar, you know, it's this kid and Skowski. Here's a couple of young guys that are going to be great Trayvon, really good players that are kind of coming on. Kayvon. I mean, these are really talented guys that give us a bright future. You know, several other guys. I mean, Huggins is a guy that's emerging. He's going to end up being a great player for us. So we got a bunch of guys that I think have made good contributions. Register, Yergin, that maybe don't get talked about as much, but have you know, been good players for us.
Coach, you talked about how in Death Valley the crowd can influence a game, doesn't determine it. How do you not let a crowd like the one in Tallahassee influence the outcome at all with your squad?
Just stay focused on, you know, first of all, you got to have a great week of preparation. You know, we try to prepare our guys. We'll create crowd noise and all that type of stuff to make them have to really focus and practice the way they need to. But, you know, that's the main thing. And then you just stay dialed in on what you're doing. You don't get distracted by all that stuff. If you're really locked in to what you're doing and you've had a great week of preparation, you know, that shouldn't be a factor for you. I mean, you have to stay locked in, and you got to, you know, keep your poise. And if you do have a mistake, just go to the next play. Don't let one mistake lead to three. And, you know, try to do the best you can to block that type of stuff out. But the other thing is you draw on your experience. You know, it's not like this is our first road trip. We've played at a lot of places. And, you know, defensively, it's always easier on the road. You know, it's actually a little harder to communicate for our defense at home because it's so loud. But on the road, it's a little bit easier for our defense. It's harder on the offense, obviously. But we try to prepare them in practice, and then again the experience. You know, we've played, you know, at Auburn this year, and maybe one of the best games we've had, to be honest with you, offensively, and probably one of the clutchest games we've had. I know that the score didn't maybe please some people, but you know we had 8 drop balls in that game and 3 drop touchdowns in that game. But we didn't finish on some plays, but the overall poise. I don't think we had one offsides in that game, in an opening game, and then that last drive, that 3-minute and 20-something, 3:23 or whatever it was, that last drive was just incredible. On the road, back against the wall, Jordan Hare, and the drive that we put together was just awesome to take the air out of the ball, but. You know, so they've got good experience to draw on, but it's all about this week. You know, I mean, you gotta play well this week. That's what I always tell our guys. We're really not trying to win all of our games. We're just trying to win the one we're playing. That's really all we're trying to do. And the way you do that is try to win the play you're playing. All right, don't worry about the last play. Don't worry about the next play. Let's just win this play and just kind of create that mentality. And because that's how you get locked in. That's the type of focus that you got to have. To execute, you know, cleanly.
This is your 4th night road game. How much does that help from a just game routine standpoint?
Same thing, good experience. You know, they've been there, done that. It seems like every time we go on the road, it's like a 9 o'clock, you know, kick. Get home at 6 in the morning, but that's just the way it is. So we look forward to those opportunities. You know, it's national TV. You're playing a great team at their place, a big-time ranked opponent. You look forward to those opportunities.
You ever been part of that with 4 straight road night games?
Probably. I mean, I'm sure 13 years at Alabama, I probably experienced that somewhere along the way, but I'd have to do some Tim Bray Google research or something to know, but I'm sure I have.
Does it feel different having a 2-game lead over Florida State as opposed to this game, decide the winner?
No, man, this is Clemson, Florida State. It don't matter what the records are. There's plenty of juice in this one. This is I don't know. What are they ranked? Top 12. Yeah, okay, so this is a team that a lot of people picked to win the national championship. That's good enough to win the national championship. This is a team that lost on a 54-yard field goal, and then obviously had one get away from them at Louisville against a great football team. So these guys are as good as you're going. There's always 10 or 12 teams out there that are good enough, and this bunch is as good as anybody, in my opinion. And so you can throw the records out the book. To go on the road and to have to beat a top 15 team, it don't matter what the standings are. There's a lot of pride involved in this game. Both teams understand what Clemson Florida State means and the ramifications of this game. For us, again, we want to win them all. We want to, but as I said earlier, you can't win 12, you win 8. So we're just trying to win the game we're playing, and each and every week do the best we can. And whatever result we get, move on to the next one. And it's the same thing for Florida State. It's all about this week. They can't worry about what happened earlier in the year. I promise you, they ain't going to be thinking about that. They're going to be focused on trying to beat Clemson and continue. They've got a lot at stake. They've got a lot of opportunity out there for postseason. So, it really doesn't have anything to do with it.
Did you see anything different from your team after that NC State game when they went back to practice? Was there a greater sense of urgency or maybe a sense of relief, or did anything change in the approach?
No, well, see, yeah. Well, no, see, that insinuates that there wasn't a sense of urgency for that game. And there couldn't be further from the truth. Watch the tape. Man, you talk about tremendous effort. Now it doesn't mean the other team doesn't make good plays, and everybody's got good players, but you can't have a better sense of urgency. Because we had 4 turnovers and 3 opportunities inside the 5-yard line, does that mean Ben Boulware didn't play with a sense of urgency? No. Does that mean Deshaun had one of his best games? This kid completed 75% of his passes on 52 attempts. I don't know how you could play better. Had one bad decision on the pick 6, but we guys played with a great sense of urgency, a great will to win. We just had some mistakes. We made some bad plays, and they made a few good ones along. They scored 1 touchdown. It's one thing if you're out there and you just you're all a bunch of 3 and outs and you're just sloshing around and you're not finishing blocks and you're getting stoned at the point of attack and all that stuff. But we had 1 3 and out, 91 plays, 500 yards of offense, and 4 turnovers. It's just frustrating because we again 4 times in the red zone that we got 0 points. It allowed the game to stay close, and 3 inside the 5. I don't know that I've ever been a part of that, where you don't at least get a field goal. And so there was some frustration in that we, but the effort was tremendous. Guys laid it on the line. There was a great sense of urgency to win the game. I think if anything, maybe it just kind of, that locker room was awesome, because these guys appreciate winning. They appreciate winning, and I love that about this team. They appreciate it, and so do I. Again, we try to correct the mistakes. We had a great week of practice last week, and that, it's not a sense of urgency. It's just the opposite. Mike Williams wasn't being casual and nonchalant. He's fighting and scratching and clawing for 1 more yard, and we have a turnover. Wayne Gallman is running violently, and it's a big hit, and he fumbles the ball. Tyshawn trying to go in, he's just fighting. The guy gets the ball out. Again, it wasn't from a lack of sense of urgency. So that's what that question insinuates. You know, these guys we probably played one of our best games against NC State in a lot of areas.
What kind of edge does the jumbo formation give you, and how long did it take you to figure out that Dexter and Christian were the perfect guys for that?
Just this summer, watching them in summer camp. I'd already kind of thought about some things with Christian, but then when I watched Big Dex, and you know, I just felt like that it'd be something that we could, you know, have an edge on, and you know, it's just sheer strength. I mean, it's just hard. I mean, even if you fit it up, you got a lot of mass coming at you there. So we just, you know, wanted to kind of create a little package, and it's come through for us in a couple big situations. But you know, they're capable of handling it mentally and physically. They're just obviously gifted. I mean, you know, you got one that's 342 and the other one that's about 315 or so. So just inertia. That's really it.
Coach, on the decision to call the timeout, nice the kicker against NC State. You see that called a lot in college, high school, pro football. In your career, I'm pretty sure you've seen a lot. What was your reaction to the result of that call?
He missed it. We got it. We still got it. We're still alive. We still got a chance to win it. The game ain't over. All right, let's go win it in overtime. You know, I mean, just trying to, you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I was trying to hang on to one because I knew it was going to be a field goal. I knew there was, regardless of when they, like I said last week, I thought that they would use their timeouts and try to score. You know, that surprised me a little bit, but I was trying to hang on to one, and just for that purpose, because I knew a kick was coming, and you know, just trying anything that you can, but it worked out for us. I'm not sure we wouldn't have blocked it, to be honest with you, had it been on target. And that, you know, that's the other thing. You know, don't think that the game doesn't impact those things. We blocked one. We almost got another one. They missed one. You know, pressure. I mean, and then I tell you, we had good push on that one, and Jadar was. I'm not sure he wouldn't have blocked it. Just tremendous effort by our guys, and he missed it. You know, that's part of it. It's like we got inside the 5 3 times and missed it too. Missed opportunities to score. It's all part of the game, and that play went our way and gave us a chance to keep playing. And it's what we say: 60 minutes or as long as it takes to finish. And we were able to finish the game.
Coach, this road schedule that you guys have had, how much can those matchups compare to Doak Campbell at a night venue, big crowd like that, or is that matchup unique, what you guys are about to experience?
Again, I think you draw on all your experience. You know, going to Jordan-Hare is a tremendous challenge. Going down to Atlanta this year, a place we hadn't won in, you know, since I was in middle school, I guess, and we were able to do that. You know, so I think you draw on all those experiences. I mean, it's a great venue. They do a great job. They'll show up, man. It'll be rocking. You know, 8:22 kickoff in Tallahassee, Clemson, Florida State. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. It'll be awesome. You know, our guys look forward to that. I mean, that's, as a competitor, I mean, that's what you want, man. I watch some of these tapes and I see nobody in the stands. And I remind our guys all the time, man, what a blessing it is to be at a place like Clemson, you know, where people show up. I mean, they come. It don't matter who we play. They show up, and it's a privilege to, you know, work and play at a place like that. So it'll be a great venue, and we'll look forward to competing. And every game, you know, I know it seems like 2010 we went down there and a 55-yard field goal to beat us with 2 seconds, and that was kind of the story of that year. 2012, we had a chance to win the game. They were probably a little bit better than us, but we had our opportunities to win the game. Couldn't finish it in the fourth quarter. You know, 2014, we played probably as good as you could play. In fact, I think we hit about every indicator for victory in that game, just about every one. And when you read Tim's notes and it says win 98% of the time, win 99% of the time, and you always wonder, what is that 2%? Well, we found it that night in Tallahassee in 14. So, you know, you gotta even those things out, right? So I think we've played well in spurts down there over the last few years. We just hadn't been able to finish. And if you're going to win at somebody else's place, especially against a highly ranked and highly talented football team, you got to finish. You got to take advantage of the opportunities when they present themselves.
Have we got anything else? Thank you very much.
All right, guys.
Coach.